What a situation we have going on here. But before we get into the situation, I've got to make a disclaimer. Because we're talking about Shon Chiplock, I think he was highly out of line in claims he made about Vic Mignogna to the podcast host, Mekel, Kasanova.
So he sent a very long message about, hey, he said, I knew you were going to be at, I knew you were at HawaiiCon, but I didn't know that you were going to be interviewing him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, I want to know if you realize what you're doing, because Vic's in the middle of a very big, assault case. And I'm like, wait, what? What assault case? There's nothing.
That one that never actually materialized. It's amazing.
Keep in mind this recording is from over a year ago, right around January 2020. However, what I presume Nick to be referring to regarding never materialized is how a small group of people in the larger voice acting community made claims that they were going to pursue criminal charges against Vic. But again, that never actually happened. I'll let you decide why that is. While I greatly disagree with how Shon allegedly handled that situation, I do have to at least give him praise for how he's handling this one. And this is a year later. Maybe he's changed a bit. I'm totally open to that idea. Here's what Shon says. Very recently, a colleague was fired from their VO gig for asserting that Taiwan is a country, something irrelevant to any contract we signed. Effective immediately, I refuse any offers to reprise as Kiro in MLQC until/unless Jonah Scott is allowed to return as Victor. The agreements we signed throughout our careers cover a large number of reasonable accommodations, not leaking confidential info, not disparaging the project and others. Punishing talent because of political interference by your benefactors isn't one of those reasonable demands. I often mention that there are moments when you have to make a choice about whether the message you want to send is worth the sacrifice. To me, this one is. I won't support acts like this. I'm heartbroken, but I love/support Jonah more than I do a gig. I can replace the latter. I ask the fans to understand this is not your fault. I cherish every bit of the role that I performed, just as I know Jonah did. This job has been so fun, in part because we were all having fun together. I hope a resolution can be reached, genuinely, but one must be. Now, if you don't know Jonah Scott, he is the VA for Legoshi, although I haven't seen Beastars. I'm familiar with him as Sniper Mask from High Rise Invasion, and more recently, Tatsu from Way of the House Husband. In summary so far, allegedly Jonah was making a statement in support of Taiwan, and the company behind Mr. Love Queen's Choice, being a Chinese company, took umbrage with that and terminated him. Now a wave of voice actors that were also working on the project are stepping down unless they reinstate Jonah as Victor. VA Joe Z would add, I will not be party to the censorship and strong arming of my fellow actors for stating a Googleable fact, and one that is totally unrelated to the terms of our employment. I adore the MLQC fandom and hope that a resolution can be reached, but I stand with Jonah. VA Kaiji Von Tang, born in Shanghai and now living in LA, would also make a statement. And I bring that up especially because of the second tweet you'll see in a moment. He says, I have no wish to provide voices for any company that lives in the delusion that Taiwan is not a country. For anyone coming here to be like, but Kaiji, the consequences. Keep in mind my family literally escaped communism to be here. You'll find no harbor for that nonsense on my page. I'd like to take a moment here to appreciate these VAs for standing up against the corruption of China and standing up for the freedom of Taiwan. And I'm not trying to be snarky with this comment, but I genuinely am curious if Funimation supports Taiwan. And I wouldn't even think about questioning that if Funimation had not made political statements in the past. Because they've entered the political arena, so to speak, though, I am genuinely curious. Now, why don't we take a look at Jonah's statement himself? He says, Hey gang, I didn't wish to make divisive opinions on important political topics so brashly, so sorry. I also want to apologize to my colleagues and partners that might have been affected. Oh man, I really like Sniper Mask, but I gotta say, in my humble opinion, this is a rather weak statement. First of all, it's not really a divisive opinion. The great majority of people seem to support Taiwan, including plenty of people in China. They're just not allowed to say that they are. And I'm making that claim because I've had people from China sending me emails a whole bunch back when I was covering the Taiwan Hololive incident. I'm sure this will come as a shock to no one, but I also don't think he should have apologized for making a statement in support of Taiwan. And then he apologizes to his colleagues and partners that have been affected. And I don't know if he needs to apologize for that either, especially when they're willingly supporting him. But I guess he's just trying to be nice. It is what it is. In closing, while I have some opinions on the final statement from Jonah and Shon's previous actions, I fully appreciate them. As I said, all of them, including Shon, standing up for Taiwan. And as I said in the beginning regarding Shon as well, maybe he's changed. It could be. And I'm totally open to that possibility. I wish the best to all of them. And thank you all again for supporting Taiwan. And thank you all for tuning in to this video. I'll catch you next time.